Hello, my name is Chris Fox. I'm a product manager here at Jacobsen. Today we're going to spend some time going over the new Truckster XD. Keep in mind the top selling features are the 3,550 pound standard payload, the highest in the industry, our tough and durable box and tailgate, the engines which offer the highest torque available in the industry. The diesel is 52.7 foot-pounds of torque and the gas is 51.6 foot-pounds of torque. We also have one of the roomiest and most comfortable operator platforms in the industry, and we've maintained the leading approach angle of 26 degrees. Now we'll get into some more of the details of going through a demo. The first thing I'll do is raise the truck bed up, install the safety, and that's how we would typically begin a demo with a customer on their site. Now that we've raised the bed and installed the safety device, we'll talk to the customer about the under the bed area. One of the first things you want to start talking to the customer about is just the reliability, durability, the ruggedness we've built into the vehicle. You'll see the heavy steel channels on each side, a cross tube at the back and the front here, and the gussets there, providing a very strong base for the vehicle. Next, you'll notice the very clean layout. We've got the tubes and hydraulics and electrics run along each of the frame rails on the side where possible. You'll start to see the engines we talked about earlier, both the Kubota gas and diesel with the highest torque in the industry. From an ease of maintenance standpoint, you look under here, you'll see your standard hydraulics filter is right there, very easy to get to. Your air filter is right down here. It's got the filter minder easily visible to be able to check your filter. You'll come back, you'll notice the auxiliary hydraulic system here. The filter on it is also very easy to access. The oil engine filter is right down here, easy to access again. You can look back at the rear differential, talk about the ruggedness, the sturdiness, how beefy it is. As we start to look at some of the other ease of maintenance items, on this side of the vehicle, we have our radiator and optional hydraulic cooler for the auxiliary hydraulics. We also have our battery, which is very easy to get to. On the far side of the vehicle, we have our fuel tank. It's easy to get to, even with the bed down. Now let's take a minute to talk about our heavy-duty box and tailgate. As we mentioned earlier, we have the highest payload capacity in the industry at 3,550 pounds. If you look at our tailgate mechanism, very easy, very rugged, very durable. 2 hands to open, but you still have a slam shut feature. If you look on the side of the bed, as you use your bed and it gets worn, the closing mechanism has some adjustability in it. We know it's going to get beat up and abused over time. Now if we look at the rest of the box here, we have the largest box in the industry. It's 66 inches long, 51.5 inches wide, and 12 inches deep. That's going to allow you, when you're not maxing out the payload capacity with wet sand, but you're using mulch or something like that, then you'll have the ability to put more product in here. You'll be able to make fewer trips out to the course and back. It becomes very important if you look at some of the runs they have, might be 15, 20, 30 minutes just out and then back, so you could be saving anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour depending on the time. If you also look at the side of the bed, we've built in more stake pockets. There are 4 on each side, 2 in the front. Those stake pockets give you the ability to put on the stake sides. That way you can build it up if you're hauling mulch or some material like that, or you want to be able to put more into it, or if you're doing some tree work and you're collecting limbs and things like that. Just a very rugged, very durable, very versatile box. I almost forgot to mention one of the nice features of the 66-inch length of the box is it allows for a 5-foot or 60-inch bucket to dump completely inside the box and not spill anything over the back or into the operator area. So one other feature with our tailgate is the bottom pivot option. You can notice these 2 pins also pull in and allow you to pivot the bed from the top if you're trying to dump gravel on the path, and then it just slides back in. So now let's take a look at our auxiliary hydraulic attachments. As you can see, these points are at the back of the truck, very easy and very accessible for tow behind or bed mounted equipment. The on-off switch for those are located in the operator area. Now let's step over here and take a look at a unit that has a hitch on it. You'll notice it's a very strong hitch here. We attach it directly to the rear axle, so we're towing straight from there and not through the suspension of the unit. The hitch has a 600-pound tongue weight, so heavy enough to tow anything at the course. It also can tow 2,200 pounds without trailer brakes, and then it can tow 3,500 pounds with trailer brakes. One of the reasons we get to such a high towing capacity without trailer brakes is the 4-wheel disc brakes are 10.7 inch in diameter, so there's lots of stopping power. When you've got heavier loads that we're looking at, it's nice to have the larger disc brakes. So let's talk a little bit about serviceability at the front side of the vehicle. Our engineering team did a great job in making sure that the areas were accessible. The center console here is easily removable. You can take off the knobs and then the whole piece will pop out. Push your shifter boot through and that can come out. Now you have easy access to your levers if you need to make adjustments or replace them. You've got easy access to your cables for the adjustments, and you can actually take out the rod that the levers are mounted on without taking anything else off the vehicle. So for serviceability, our engineers designed the front cowl to come off with no tools required. You can simply lift up, the bottom will pop out, and you can slide it off. I have disconnected the headlights in this example. I suggest you do the same for a demo to make it very easy to take it on and off. One thing you'll notice about these plastics, they are very flexible and durable. It's one of the reasons they were chosen. They're TPO plastic. They'll take a hit, they'll flex, they'll bend without breaking. Now with the hood off, or the cowl off, you'll notice underneath here, your fuse block is very accessible. If you need to get in here and make any other adjustments to your pedals, add brake fluid to your master reservoir, all of these are very accessible right here underneath the hood, taking it off with no tools. And it simply pops back on. I typically do the front corners and then get the center in. And it's back on, again, toolless access to the front cowl area for serviceability. The operator comfort on the truck is due to two things. One, the width of the front cab. We are 60 inches wide where the competition is 50 inches. That gives us significantly more room in the middle between the operators for control layouts, but also we have more leg room from front to back. Those two things really provide a more comfortable operator area. The room in between allows us to lay out our controls much further apart, much cleaner. The other thing we've done is taken the mechanical diff lock from being a lever on the console down here to an electric switch up on the dashboard that has momentary operation when you hold the switch down. One of the other things you'll notice in the center is our console box. It comes standard on every vehicle. We also have the glove box up here for storage on all vehicles with the grab bar. Notice two cup holders and the radio holder in the center. So our instrument cluster in the middle of the dashboard has three large analog gauges that will read your coolant temperature, your engine RPM, and your fuel gauge. There are other warning lights that will indicate if your high beams are on, the charge status of the battery, hydraulic fluid level, engine temperature. On the right side of the instrument cluster, you have oil pressure, your glow plug for diesel, and a low fuel light. You have blinker or turn signal indicators. The gauge at the bottom will indicate your speed, your battery voltage, and the hours on the engine. On the left side of the operator area, you have your horn and headlights. On the right side of the operator area, you have your ignition switch, your 12-volt charger, your diff lock, which is standard, and this vehicle also has your auxiliary hydraulics system with the light to indicate that the system is operating. Now let's talk about a few other features on our vehicle here. The new Truckster XD comes with four-wheel drive available as an option. If you buy the four-wheel drive vehicle, you will get a standard treaded front tire. You do have the option to get the ribbed front tire if you would like. Let's talk a little about the approach angle. I mentioned earlier it was 26 degrees from the tire to the front of the vehicle. That's either 2 or 4 degrees more than the competition and gives us an additional 3 inches of clearance. It can be critical when you're getting down to some of your bunkers or in some other undulated turf on the course to keep it from damaging the vehicle or damaging the turf. Now let's talk a little about the operator platform. I'm about 6'2". You notice when I get in, it might be a little tight, but you slide the seat back, and I actually usually bring it forward 1 or 2 to get comfortable. You'll notice I am in our optional suspension seat, but definitely a great feature to have on any demo you take out there. Let customers see the comfort of this. Hey, thanks again for spending a little time with us today to talk about the new Truckster XD. Again, my name is Chris Fox, product manager here at Jacobsen. Feel free to contact me with any questions at cfox@textron.com.